Hello, everyone. I will start by saying I'm definitely an introvert, not an extrovert. This is pushing me out of my comfort zone, so just bear with me if I get lost or anything. But I want to talk to you guys about sea salt. It's delicious, obviously, but it's also one of the most important things in our overall health and well-being. It has 80 essential minerals that play a large function in how our bodies actually work, from nerve function, brain function, muscle contraction. All these things go on and on and on. But with that being said, my name is Jonathan Richards. I am the owner of the company and, like she said, founder and every other position in the company right now as well. Basically, we started this business 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago now. I was smoking a brisket, and I've been a chef most of my life, but I was smoking a brisket at home, and we took a quick beach break, and during that beach break, I just was out swimming in the ocean, got an extra large mouthful of that water, and was just like, hey, why not take a bucket home and make some salt? So with the rudimentary filtration through a simple coffee filter, we made our very first batch of Palm Beach sea salt. And that's when I had that aha moment of, wow, this is something special, this is something different. It really reflects the natural local terroir that we're getting from our oceans. And not only that, but it's just, for me as a chef, being able to take a raw ingredient and make something, transform it into something different, was really just this wonderful feeling for me. I think I'm gonna pull out my paper, guys, a little bit. Anyways, my passion for cooking got started very, very young. My parents, I always had an affinity for like sweets and sugars and things of that nature. I always had a sweet tooth. My parents would limit what they would bring into the house because of it. And I remember late nights creeping around the kitchen, grabbing butters and cocoa powders and honeys to concoct my own sugary, fix for myself. And that's really the birth of my passion for food. It later went on to basically see things like cooking food for families and for friends, and just the power that bringing a plate of food to a table of people can really have. It not only creates community, but it creates this feeling of love and taking care of someone as well. So I just felt like it was a very powerful way for me to affect my local community. And further went to culinary school after that, and then worked in wonderful restaurants with wonderful chefs throughout Florida and South Georgia. I'll give you guys a few talking points about sea salt. The trace minerals in it, from magnesium, calcium, zinc, iron, boron, all of these things really play a big role in how our bodies produce energy, send nerve impulses from our brain to our body, how our muscles contract and uncontract. Also helps us maintain a good pH balance within our own system. One of my favorite things to tell people, if I only have a short period of time with people, is a lot of people have the misconception that salt is a negative thing in our diets, that it's so horrible for us. But a woman's womb, where a baby's life is conceived, is basically a saline solution. When you go to the doctor or the hospital and you're sick, the first thing they do for us is put us on a saline solution. So it's really the quality and the quantity of those minerals and the composition that you're getting in your diet that really affects the overall well-being. Stress reduction, obviously, there's a lot of people lacking in magnesium in our diets, guys. So me personally, I've always been a super high stress, high intense person. And, after starting this company, I've definitely realized and accepted that the magnesium that I'm taking now has really helped calm the nerves, calm the whole everything about it. The vision for Palm Beach Salt has been basically, we saw a gap in the market. There were tons of products that are processed, bleached, adding agents to where health is not really the concern of the overall product. And so with that being said, we wanted to take a different approach. We wanted to basically mimic what Mother Nature was already providing us, but with a refined, healthier version of it. So in our processing of our salt, we not only had to, one, find the best, cleanest water possible, because that's, as a chef, you start with good ingredients, and our ingredient for salt is water right now. So we tested 8 different locations up and down the coast of Florida for turbidity, salinity, and clarity. And after testing all those locations, we found one that really worked with us. We had to work with the town of Palm Beach Shores, the engineers for town of Palm Beach as well, just to make sure that what we were doing was, one, legal, 2, acceptable and continue, so that we could continue on doing what we were doing. And the town of Palm Beach has been nothing but blessings for us. So the process I'll take you through a little bit right now, just a simple version of it. But basically, we monitor the tides and the water quality. And then when the tide is the highest, we go down and harvest water. The water that we harvest is checked 4 times a month for different types of contaminations and different types of, anything that might be an issue for us making salt. And then with that water, we take it back to our facility. We're harvesting 550 gallons of water at a time right now. We used to do everything with little 5-gallon buckets, but thank God I'm not having to hump those up and down the beach anymore. But now we're harvesting 550 gallons a month, or excuse me, at a time. We take it back to our facility, and it goes through about a 400-hour process from the ocean to before I'm able to present it in jar form for you guys to consume. And part of that process is filtration through modern filtration all the way down to a 0.5 micron. Just to give you an idea, a 0.5 micron is basically 70 times thinner than a human hair. And that 0.5 micron is also the level of microplastic testing that's able to be detected within a sample. So by going to a 0.5 micron, we're able to potentially remove whatever potential microplastics would be in the salt. We've also had our salt tested for mineral composition, heavy metals, and other things like that, and everything has come back positive. If you want to go to the next. Obviously, we all eat with our eyes. This is probably the best slide. I'll give you a little bit of background on myself. As I told you earlier, I became very passionate about food at a young age, but that later carried on into culinary school, where I honed my skills and then started working with chefs throughout South Florida. From Lindsay Autry, Chef Pushkar of El Korean Cocktails, but just had wonderful experiences in the kitchen and continued to be able to refine my abilities throughout South Florida. This is basically a little bit of the beginning of me in the business. I think anybody trying to do business or trying to start their own entrepreneurial adventure, I advise you this: just be ready for something you weren't ready for. I never knew that there was so many different jobs that needed to be done, or that there were that many types of things that could actually be done. But from the very beginning, it was just keep moving, just one foot in front of the other. So if you take anything away from this, if you have a passion, go after that passion with no remorse. Literally just chase it down, one foot in front of the other, and it's going to benefit you in the long run. I did a lot of, I guess you would call it Renaissance man work, when building out our new facility to produce salt. From electrical work, plumbing work, painting, every single aspect of the business was kind of handled by me and my wife. I feel like I'm getting a little off topic, but I'm gonna one of the big ideas that really drove me to Palm Beach Salt Company was that I feel like the food and wellness industry was really lacking in a local and holistic product. Even as a chef, I kind of was disassociated with where my foods were coming from. And that's that's started my journey towards Palm Beach Salt Company. I was doing things like making my own sourdoughs, which I'm sure a lot of you did during COVID, and just chasing down the base things of food, like making butters from raw milks, making cheeses, things that I just wanted to understand why food affects us a certain way and how it can benefit us in the long run, and just how far we've come from that simple life. We're all, having processed salts, and we're having, things that we're really, even at me as a chef, not really sure where they came from, how they affect our bodies. Are they good for us? Are they bad for us? So that was just my beginning of my whole thought process in making this company, was bringing that light towards one of the most misunderstood but universally used products in the world. There's people out there today still even saying that salt is so bad for you, salt is this, that, and the other. But I think that once you start to provide the knowledge and share the information that we all have, and people start to become receptive to that and understand why and how important it is in our diets. Okay, so we actually started a second business throughout this journey of opening Palm Beach Salt Factory, and it's kind of to help bring community as well. We're offering a commissary kitchen currently, which allows us the ability to bring in other small businesses that need a home base to start. So we have a full commercial kitchen facility that we offer for rentals and for monthly plans, so that anybody who needs a space to come, whether it be to cook a catering event or to have a private party or whatever their needs may be, we're offering that to our community. And next month, we're going to be starting a local potluck dinner. It's going to be RSVP. Chefs, anybody out there who likes to cook, guys, please sign up on our website. It'll probably be about 20 people only, so it'll sell out quick. But it's not sell out, I should say. It'll fill up quick because it's going to be a free event. But other than that, the kitchen's there. It's open for use for anybody who needs it. We have 4 businesses with us right now utilizing that space, and we're just hoping to build more community with that. Okay. Thank you guys for your patience. Another slide that just brought up is the historical significance of salt in Florida. Back in the 1860s, Civil War, Florida being on, pretty much a peninsula, we had water on all 4 sides of us, and the Confederates used to make salt because of the importance for triage, for food storage, for preservation. Salt, used to be traded pound for pound for gold, not in the 1860s, but back in Roman times, salt was traded pound for gold. Even the first roads in the world were paved. Via del Salaria were paved to transport salt from the intercoastal to the cities so that people could preserve their foods and live more healthy lives. One of the other things that I'll talk about here is the Gulf Coast stream. It's one of the reasons that makes our salt so unique down here. We get a lot higher mineral content than a lot of the other hand-harvested or localized salts. If you try, there's a couple other salt makers in the United States, and I've tried them all, and each one of them has a distinct differences. Just like a red wine from different variations, they all have a different terroir. We feel the same thing about our salt. The way the Gulf Coast stream comes up here, Palm Beach here is in the easternlymost point of Florida. So we're catching hundreds of thousands of gallons of fresh Gulf Stream water that comes up. So that water is just extremely beneficial for us and our ability to make salt. And I just feel like it just kind of was like almost, I didn't know all of this when I set out to start, but it just kind of all fell and all the pieces fell in right. And to speak on patterns, guys, I feel like, if you looked at the salt over there, you definitely could see the patterns in the salt. Those patterns are what are called laminations. So the salt forms naturally like that. It starts out with one single crystal, and as it slowly evaporates, it's on the surface of my water, and as it slowly evaporates, another crystal forms up and connects right next to it. And then another crystal forms up and right next to it. And together, those crystals become stronger. And I kind of feel like us as a community do that same laminating. You know, I can be here, but if we form up, you come next to me, we become stronger as a group. And another way about patterns is, you know, I stopped following the patterns of my life to be able to find this new pattern. I had been a chef and got burnout working that, you know, not 9 to 5, I wish, that 5 to 2 a.m. So I got burnt out doing that, and you know, started doing some other stuff like selling insurance and things that just wasn't passionate about, but it got the bills paid, so to speak. But it gave me time to find my pattern, to find the thing that I wanted to do. It gave me the ability to go to the beach, the ability to be free and chase my own dreams, guys. So whatever it is, whatever pattern you're on, find one that mimics you and that serves you, guys. I think that's it for me. I want to thank each and every one of you. No.